Hey everybody, I've decided to make this video because I want to talk about Urgot. What's going on with Urgot? My camera's up here, they'll explain that later. Don't worry about it. I know you guys are afraid to change, but I'll explain it. So, I want to talk about Urgot because Urgot's balance has become, I'm going to call it really sketchy. And he keeps becoming way too powerful with some items, and he keeps getting some jankiness, okay? So, what's going on with Urgot? This is at all ranks. In all ranks, Urgot's win rate and pick rate have shot up considerably, going from like a top 20 to 30 champion to now he's pick rate 14 with a 52.88% win rate. That continues to platinum, where we see that Urgot is still a 22 highest pick rate with a 51.76% win rate. So what's going on? Why did Urgot's win rate and pick rate shoot up a lot? He's not a very popular champion, and he's never really been that popular unless he's extraordinarily overpowered. So why is he so strong? Now, I'm trying to get through this video fast because in the past, on topics that aren't really that expansive, there's not really that much information. I tend to dally a lot, and then you guys complain about that. So hopefully we can get through this. As always, you can use this video as a podcast. You can just listen along. You can watch along. Either of those are fine. You guys know how I do things. You just want to listen, that's fine. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a comment. All those things help me considerably. They help me grow the channel, and I would appreciate it if you do. So what's going on with Urgot? Why is his balance so bad? Well, let me go right here. This is when my camera's higher. They are nerfing ranged Hullbreaker on ranged champions. But you might be saying to yourself, oh, that's because of Graves. That's because of Akshan. Poor Urgot. We hardly knew him. How could he be hurt by this change? You bastards, Riot. How could... Well, here's the thing, guys. Actually, and I'm going to use Plat Plus here. Hullbreaker is the highest pick first item on Urgot, therefore the highest pick item period, other than boots. And we can see here that actually, despite having over double the pick rate, in fact over triple the pick rate of Titanic Hydra, we can see that Hullbreaker only has a slightly lower win rate. And at all ranks, this maintains, of course, massively higher pick rate, only a slightly win rate. If you know how that works, if you are double or triple the pick rate of something, you will typically have a lower win rate, just because people are picking you more often, therefore picking you into slightly worse situations, things like that. This means that Hullbreaker is outperforming even Urgot's last best item, which was Titanic Hydra. In other words, Urgot found a new, better item that he could first item. That means that his win rate goes up. That means he gets stronger. So it's a bit frustrating for Urgot mates, because I'll log into League of Legends while we talk about this, because I just want to show you guys something. It's a bit frustrating for Urgot mates, because Urgot keeps being overpowered with all these different items, but the problem is that when they nerf these items on ranged champions, or they nerf them off Urgot, they're not balancing the item on Urgot, they're effectively removing it as an option. And for the most part, yeah, halving the resistances he gets for being ranged does remove it as an option for Urgot. So, whereas, let's say you're a melee champion, you can go Hullbreaker, you can go a different item. Doing this kills it on Urgot. Now, to be clear, I do believe that the Hullbreaker nerf is not aimed at Urgot. This is not an Urgot-oriented nerf. They are clearly aiming this nerf at Graves, because Graves is the #1 pick rate. He's rushing Hullbreaker every game. He's yeah. So don't think. My opinion is that they're trying to nerf Urgot here. Urgot, he's not even in the top 10 pick rate. He's likely not even on Riot's radar. If his pick rate continued to go up, would more people learn how to play against him? Would more people learn how to beat him? Probably, actually, yeah. His win rate would probably actually, I'm going to use Conqueror for this one, because I think it's really funny to do. By the way, Giant Enemy Crabgot is his best skin. It's his best skin, period. That's his best skin. Anyway, so if his pick rate continued to go up, if his win rate continued to go up, yeah, more people would probably eventually have to learn how to beat him. Would he continue to be that good? Probably not. Actually, to be completely blunt, I don't think he would continue to have that high of a win rate. Listen to the sound effects. If they could only Yeah, this is why Giant Mini Crab got so bad skin. And I want to show you guys, I wanted to show you guys Conqueror here, because here's something with Urgot. Because he's considered a ranged champion, this is sort of an issue. Watch this. Do you see how it takes him forever to stack Conqueror, even with his W, because he's considered a ranged champion? But is he really a ranged champion? Let me show you guys this. Here's his range. Can we? There's his range. Do you see this? This is not. It's like slightly longer than Aurelia, you know. So this is his range. Yeah, it's ranged in a technical sense. This is a decent range, right? But his E forces him to go into melee. It's not like, I mean, the only thing he really has that's like that long a range is his Q. And realistically, all you do with this Q, by the way, don't use these runes. I just wanted to use them to show Conqueror to you guys. The only thing that really has range is his Q, which he doesn't use to kite people out. Not really. I mean, he can kind of try it, but the main reason he uses his Q is to try to get into range to use his E. Now, the problem is that they've given Urgot, let me pull up his patch history here. They've given Urgot a lot of janky little workarounds to try to balance him out, to try to make him better while not being a melee champion and having all these melee items. And in an ironic sense, by the way, not being considered melee for so many of his items, let me pull up Urgot here. Not being considered melee for so many of his items actually hurts him. And you can see, look, you can see how he doesn't even go with the mythic because nothing is made. So, Hullbreaker will soon give him half armor and magic resist. Titanic Hydra has, oh, okay, yeah, okay, it does. It deals 75% damage from range users, although it's a bit sketchy because, let's be fair, Urgot does apply it really quickly. Iceborne Gauntlet does, what is that, half the slow? Half the slow, half the damage for Iceborne Gauntlet. Despite it being his best mythic in a lot of situations, he still only gets half effect on it. So he'll get half effect on this item, 25% reduced effect on this item, half effect from this item. So many times they have to buff this champion because he can't even use his own items. I mean, this is when they nerfed him, right? But then they had to buff him later on, and once again, he's just still not that popular. Now, they did fuck him up a little bit. Yeah, you can see right here, Titanic Hydra scaled a little bit too well with Urgot. I think, in all honesty, what they should have done is and this is overall with Urgot's entire balance. I just wanna say that one. Instead of doing all these changes, instead of fumbling around his numbers, instead of constantly doing patches where he goes stronger, weaker, my opinion is that Urgot should finally just be considered a melee champion. He doesn't have that much longer range. It would be a little bit sketchy. It would be a little bit weird. But yeah, I actually do think that Urgot should finally be a melee champion. A little bit sus, but yeah, he would obviously need to be nerfed from there, but we could nerf some things on this champion that would be overpowered with that. And just from a fun perspective, just from a build perspective, just from the ability to enjoy the champion, he would be so much more enjoyable if he was actually considered melee. Now, maybe he should be considered like half melee. Maybe these effects, he only gets like half of them. So maybe Titanic Hydra, he gets 75% of the slow. Maybe he gets 87.5% of Titanic Hydra. Maybe he gets 75%. I don't know. Maybe there'd be an issue where Iceborne Gauntlet Urgot permakites people because he gets a full slow. I don't know. Okay? I'm just saying that there comes a certain point in any champion's enjoyment where when all your items are being punished because you're considered range. I mean, and that's the thing, is that all these items are meant for bruisers, melee bruisers, right? So they always get nerfed for ranged champions because Riot wants to keep them viable on melee bruisers and out of the hand of ranged users. But he's a melee bruiser who's considered ranged because he's ranged, but he's a bruiser. Do you see how weird this is for Urgot players? Like, it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable when all your items you're being punished for. Fuck the win rate. Like, the champion should just be fun. And at the end of the day, Not 10 out of 10 times, I'll say fun should win out, because things that are fun should be fun. And again, I do say maybe Iceborne Gauntlet giving the full slow to Urgot would be too strong. I don't know. But all I know is we could, instead of doing all these changes where we fuck around with his numbers and all that, because, oh, now Titanic Hydra needs to be nerfed harder. Oh, we need to nerf his non-hint modifier. Oh, we need to nerf, instead of doing all this stuff, let's just make him melee. Let's let him enjoy stuff like Hullbreaker without nerfing it on him at random. And let's balance from there. I think that would be the best solution, and that would give him more item diversity, because he would stop having to run around and figure out what items are the least shitty for him, and he'd have to stop feeling bad because every item he builds, he's punished for being Urgot. That'd give him more item diversity, it'd give him more fun, and I think overall, it would be better for the long-term balance. I think he would be, obviously he'd be overpowered, but I think you could tone some things down about him. Like, maybe you reduce the % health damage on his passive, so maybe you consider him melee, but in return, you do something like you just nerf his passive from 2 to 8 to 1.5 to 6% health damage, that is. Do that for a patch, and let's see what happens. That's my opinion. That's my video. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Special shout out to... Why can't I say that right ever? Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you all for watching. I will be streaming Elden Ring on my variety channel. You can see the link is in the description. You can also join my Patreon to my variety channel. The link is in the description to my variety channel. The link is in the description to my Patreon. When it's for as little as $3, you can continue to support this channel, and you can continue to support videos like this. So I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you guys for everything. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye, everybody.